anatomy for 100. Let's take a look. 32 body appendages you masticate with. Now, I've got a teenage boy. This made me think of something else. But this is 32 body appendages you masticate with.
How do we answer? We just say it? We just do it?
What we're going to do is let Mickie have a crack. And if he can't answer, I'll bring you in. Mickie?
Okay, 30.
You stuck?
What is the tongue?
And Randolph, you got an answer there?
What are joints?
Ooh, what is this? A hip-hop video? No, we're not talking about that type of joint. It is actually teeth. Both of you off the mark. Never mind. Continuing on. Mickie, you're still in control because you haven't got an answer wrong. And I've just lost my control panel, so just give me a moment. And we'll be right back with you. Wow, that was well done. Interact is what I got. All right, we're back. Okay, back in control. All right, Mickie, what would you like?
Anatomy for 200.
Anatomy for 200. The cheeky muscle. This cheeky muscle is the body's largest.
Muscle.
That's weird.
What is the Glutus Maximus?
Mickie, let's take a look. And Randolph, do you have any idea? I've got no idea.
I mean, what is the buttocks? I mean, I think it might be the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have a look. Gluteus Maximus is correct. Now, Mickie was in control. He got to answer that first, but I think both of you would have got that one. It looks like. Still in control, Mickie. What would you like?
Anatomy for 300.
Anatomy for 300. Where a doctor hammers out a patellar reflex.
Where's the knee?
Yeah, that one, it's got to be right. Kneecap is correct. Well done. Continuing on, what would you like, Mickie?
Anatomy for 400.
Anatomy for 400. A turkey's wishbone or your collarbone. Or your collarbone. A turkey's wishbone or your collarbone. Oh, okay. It's not actually called the collarbone, technically speaking.
Okay. What is your shoulder?
Randolph, do you have any idea?
I thought about Googling it while I was waiting, but
Well,
I know it. I
that
know
wouldn't be
exactly
good.
what it is, but it's the I don't know the name of it.
Yes, it's one of those things. All right, I'm going to give you guys a quick clue. It rhymes with sickle, I think. No.
Sickle?
Take a look. If you've got it, yell it out. No. Clavicle.
Clavicle.
Well, more
Yeah, that
rhymes
doesn't
with
rhyme with
have
sickle.
sickle, I guess. All right, you're still in control. Mickie Kennedy, what would you like?
I guess anatomy for 500.
Anatomy for 500. The 4 large veins that return blood to the heart from the head and neck.
Let's see. What is the ventricles?
Ventricles. Randolph, do you want to have a go just in case?
What is that? What are the Yeah, I don't know.
No, me either. Let's take a look. The jugular.
Ah,
veins,
man.
The jugular
That's
veins.
good.
I've heard them say, let's
So
go for the jugular.
Okay.
Yeah, so many movies. I missed the opportunity. They always cut the
Yeah, they always
jugular.
cut the jugular. And there's one in your leg as well. Is that still the... Anyway, that's just... Stop talking about killing people. All right, Mickie, you're still in control. What would you like?
Let's do science for 100.
Sides for 100. A typical snowflake has this many sides. Which is what
What is 16?
my dad's favourite word is now. He's an old boomer. Calls me a snowflake. 16, let's take a look. 6. Hey, Randolph,
Well, I
I forgot to give you a crack. Did you have
Yeah,
that
that
one?
was Yeah, that was going to be my answer, but you know.
What do you reckon, Mickie? I believe him.
I do too.
All right, let's
He would
give it to
never lie.
Randolph. All right, I'll have to adjust the score somehow. So that was a 100-point question. So you've got 100 points. Randolph, what would you like?
World history for 500.
Well, oh, jeepers. 500. Randolph's going big. In 1888, it was last country in the West Hemisphere to abolish slavery. 1888 was the last country in the Western Hemispheres, or the Western countries. Now, I think it couldn't be United States, surely. Or maybe it is. Randolph, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I guess if it's the country, it's probably the United States.
And,
That's what I was going to say.
Mickie, do you have an answer just in case?
I was going to agree. The United States, I
Let's
think.
take a look. Brazil. So they were after. When did the United States abolish it?
Well, I remember I know Galveston was the last city to get the news.
Yeah.
That's where Juneteenth comes from. But
Juneteenth.
I don't remember the exact date though.
I think it was much earlier than that. 1888. Like
It was 1863.
There you go.
There you go.
The Emancipation Proclamation.
Okay, well that's not much earlier. So anyway, there you go, Brazil. Anyway, you're still in control, Randolph Love.
All right, let's do a World History 400.
World History 400. Nicaraguan guerrilla group that overthrew Somoza.
So I just realized this is not my category.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm gonna say the Freedom Fighters.
Freedom Fighters. And Mickie, do you have any idea of...
That one sounds good to me. Let's go with that one.
Okay, tell you what, I'm getting a little bit of no. What are the Sandinistas? Now, if that means the Freedom Fighters in English, I'll give it. Let me ask my wife.
Oh, that's the Sandinistas.
The Latinos asleep. Well, we'll continue on unless you know what that means in Spanish.
I just said Sandinistas in English is, it's just giving me a dictionary. National Libertarian Front. So yeah, all right.
Okay.
No.
A little bit different. But the good news is you're still in control. Randolph Love, what would you like?
I'll go Science 500.
Science for 500. Randolph goes big or he goes home, as they say. Shattering sound that accompanies breaking the sound barrier.
Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom! I don't need to look that up. Well done, Randolph. That's your first points. So we're going to give you points there. Not including the 100 that you already have. I'll have to add that. All right, well done. You're still in control.
Science 400.
Science for 400. Type of organism that lives off another, contributing nothing.
Parasite.
Parasite is correct. Well done, Randolph. You're in control still, and you're on about... What are you on? You're on 900 points or something? All right. What would you like, Randolph?
Science 300.
Science for 300. After length, width, and depth, the fourth dimension.
Height.
Mickie?
Time.
Let's take a look. Time is correct. Well done, Mickie.
Powerful. I didn't know that.
Wow. Back to the future. All right, back to Mickie. He's in control. What would you like?
Science for 200.
Science for 200. The last science question. Common element whose refined forms include pig, cast, or wrought.
Iron.
Iron is correct. Well done, Mickie. All right, Mickie, what would you like?
Literature for 100.
Literature. By the way, score check. We've got 1,000 each. That's including the extra 100 for Randolph. So what was that? Sorry.
Literature for 100.
Literature for 100. Grim stories.
The Grimm Brothers fairy tales.
Randolph?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Yes, the Grimm fairy tales is correct. I'll pay that one.
Oh, so it looks like it's saying what genre. It says what it is, and we have the answer is the genre.
There you
it
go.
seems like.
Although it
Very
does
smart.
mix it up in the categories, so the next one might be different. Might not should be genres. Anyway, Mickie, you still
Literature for 200.
Literature for 200. Literary point of view when I write this.
What is the first person?
First person. Randolph, sound good?
Autobiography.
Okay, let's take a look. First person singular. Well done, Mickie.
Literature for 300.
Literature for 300. Language of Chaucer.
What is Middle English?
Middle English. Randolph, do you have any idea? I've got no idea. I can't even give you a clue.
Spanish.
Let's take a look. Middle English. Now, is that what the hobbits speak?
No, I think that's Middle Earth. or
Oh,
something.
Middle Earth. Sorry. See how dumb I am.
Yeah.
All right, well done, Mickie. You're still in control. What would you like?
Literature for 400.
Literature for 400. Vowel missing from the entire 50,000 word text of Ernest Wright's Gadsby. Somebody wrote a book missing one vowel. And the clue is it's the most common vowel. So it would have been very hard to write that.
What is the E?
Yes, that is correct. Well, now, did you get that because you knew that E was the most common? Therefore, my clue.
I did know it's the most common.
Well,
so that's a
there
good
you go.
clue.
Okay, good clue. All right, Mickie,
I'm
what would
gonna
you like?
Finish that out for 500 literature.
Literature for 500. In the 20s, Hemingway and Fitzgerald were among these literary offspring. So they're kids. Randolph, any idea? Pretty tough
I guess,
questions.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe. Is that what you said? Mickie?
I have no clue.
Oh, you didn't say anything. Okay. Let's take a look. The Lost Generation.
Okay.
Mickie, still in control. What would you like?
I guess world history for 100.
World history for 100. Asia's population giant finally admitted to the United Nations in 1971.
What is China?
What is China? Sounds good to me. Let's take a look. People's Republic of China, or China, as Trump would say. Mickie,
World history for 200.
world history for 200. Including the 19th century, 1/4 of the world's land and people, the sun never set on it. Including the 19th century, 1/4 of the world's land and people, the sun has never set on it.
What is the British Empire?
British Empire. Let's take a look. Randolph, how does that sound? British
Yeah,
Empire.
let's go.
Now, this has to do with that movie that Steven Spielberg did that starred Batman. What was that guy's name? Christian Bale. The Rising Empire, the Rising Sun. All right, well done, Mickie, for getting that. Mickie, you're a bit of a stud as far as trivia goes. Not that you're not, Randolph. You're on 900. Mickey's on 2,300. We don't do subtract the points for wrong answers on this version. Mickie, what would you like?
World history for 300.
World history for 300. Sinatra, Gifford, and McGee, or Germanic peoples who helped conquer Rome. Germanic people that helped conquer Rome.
I'm not sure.
Who was out there conquering Rome? Interesting. Randolph, any idea?
feel like I should know this. Let's go with the 300.
Yeah. Whoever that was. Oh, the Spartans, I think that might have been.
Yeah, the Spartans.
Let's take a look. It is the Franks.
Franks.
It reminds me of a Seinfeld episode. The Moops. All right, continuing on. Mickie.
Fashion for 100.
Fashion for 100. Named for an island, these 50 shorts are fashionable again.
Oh, what are Bermuda shorts?
That's correct. Well done. I know this one. Because I wear Bermuda shorts. Because I live in Australia and it's hot. Not today.
Fashion for 200.
Fashion for 200. Let's take a look. Howard Hughes designed a cantilevered one for a voluptuous Jane Russell.
What is a bikini?
Randolph.
Dress.
Oh, it is actually a bra or a brassiere. Strange. This reminded me of another Seinfeld episode. All right, Mickie, continuing on.
Fashion for 300.
Fashion for 300. Edible name for a double-breasted wool navy jacket.
Was a peacoat?
Ah, never heard of that one. Randolph?
Dinner jacket.
Oh, that's a better. Yeah, that makes sense. It is pea jacket. I was going to say blazer, but that's not really edible. Well done, Mickie. What would you like?
Fashion for 400.
Fashion for 400. Teenagers' toothwear, or what the British call suspenders. What do we call suspenders? Or toothwear. Nobody's got any idea on this one. Is that right? Let's take a look.
No.
Braces. Oh, yeah, they do too call them braces. I've heard that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, teenage teethwear. All right, Mickie, what would you like?
Fashion for 500.
Fashion for 500. Penitents once wore this rough cloth with ashes. The penitents are people that are sinners seeking redemption, I think.
What is burlap?
Burlap. The old burlap sack. Well, I think sackcloth is burlap. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to pay you, Mickie. All right, continuing on.
Golf for 100.
Golf for 100. Position of ball after a stroke, which is sometimes a fib.
What is the green?
Ah, yes. Randolph?
Yes.
It is. What is the? What does it say? The lie. So that's
Okay.
not correct, Mickie. The lie. Whereas does the ball lie, and lie means fib. But I get what you were saying. Yeah, I've got it on the green, and I'm fibbing. No, but that wasn't that. All right, Mickie, you're still in control. What would you like? We've got 4 questions left in golf.
Golf for 200.
Golf for 200. Colourful golfing identity famously beat Tiger Woods while drunk. Randolph, you look like you've got this one.
I don't.
Oh, you
but I know a golf name. Phil Mickelson.
The only golf name I know is Tiger Woods, so that's not going to be the answer. So
You don't know the guy the big blonde guy that used to smoke cigarettes while he played and drink whiskey?
I don't.
Let's take a look. John Daly. Remember Long John Daly?
No.
No.
I'm sorry, I
Or
don't
maybe
know
I'm
golf.
too old. I'm being a boomer. All right, continuing on, Mickie.
Golf for 300.
Golf for 300. Supermex. That was the nickname of a golfer. Hispanic. I think he was Hispanic dude. Let's take a look.
No idea.
From the 80s. This is pretty old.
Hey, Jesus.
Lee Trevino. I did actually know that one because I had a little game called Lee Trevino Golf when I was a kid. All right, let's do 400. In 76, Judy Rankin was first woman pro to win this amount in a season. Well, that's just about impossible. First of all, who the hell is Judy Rankin?
All right. $10 million.
$10 million, Randolph?
$1 million.
$1 million. Oh, 100,000. Gee, they were a bit stingy. Last question, Mickie. Let's take a look. The Ryder Cup matches are between pros of these two countries.
UK and Ireland.
Randolph.
United States.
Come on, Randolph.
And UK.
Let's take a look. Randolph finishes strong with 500 points. Well done, Randolph. Fantastic. And the final score is 3,200 for Mickie. 1,400 for Randolph. Plus 100 makes him 1,500. Well done, gentlemen. That was fantastic. Let's have a round of applause for our guests. Pretty tough questions, but we got there in the end. All right, let's talk to Mickie. Mickie, you've been doing a lot of podcasting for a while. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and some other interesting things that you're doing?
Sure. So I run e-releases, press release distribution, and I send press releases out to the media over the wire. And I unfortunately have to move a lot of press releases that don't do anything. They don't generate articles. And so I go on podcasts to just educate people on the types of press releases they should be doing rather than the press releases I normally get.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. So these press release sites, what are they and why do people do them and why should they do them?
Right. So in the United States, there's two newswires of press releases. Basically a duopoly, a PR newswire and business wire. And they have direct relationships with basically all the
one
media,
article in a major
US.
publication
And,
can result
in
in
my
tens
case,
of
I work
thousands
with
of
PR
dollars in
Newswire.
sales,
Every release
as well
that
as
I send
hundreds
out
of
goes
thousands
out,
of visitors
through
to
them
a
nationally.
website. Those are the types
That
of
normally
opportunities
costs like
that can happen with
$1,600.
PR.
You go directly to them. That's about a third of the price.
E-Releases
it goes
distributes
to us.
through
So
PR
we have
Newswire,
a
which is the
volume
oldest and
discount.
largest
They want
press
to help
release
small
newswire.
businesses.
We also disseminate
And,
to our internal
basically,
database of
when
subscribing
you
journalists.
send out a
We have
newsworthy
over
press release
100,000
on their
journalists,
network, you have the
bloggers,
potential to
and
get
reporters
lots of
who
media
receive
attention.
information from us
I
on
have
various
a case study on my
industries and
website
subjects.
where like one press release generated over 100
Our database
articles,
of subscribing
over,
journalists is
I think
important
$11 million
because these are
in
relationships
revenue.
that we have
So
at
that's the
e-releases
wild
and our small
potential that can
volume of
happen with
customers.
the really
So these are
effective
people who are
newsworthy
looking
press
for
release.
press
But
releases that will be
unfortunately,
coming to their
most of the
inbox,
press releases I get
and
are like
they're on subjects and
new
industries that they're
hires
interested
where it's
in.
not
And as a result, they're more likely to
important.
pay attention to those rather than going out and seeking content on a newswire or an external source. All major
I
media
think having
outlets are
a
included
compelling
in our
story,
distribution.
so many
This
people
includes New
forget
York
that
Times,
journalists
Chicago
like a
Tribune,
story
magazines like Fast
And,
Company and
you
Ink
can
Magazine.
take a product
You
launch
name it,
press
they're
release
included.
that's usually
This is
just,
important
here's our new
because
product and here's a list of
oftentimes
features,
a
and
small
you can
company who
satisfy
has
that
a really
story arc by
newsworthy
going in
idea
there
can get
and
major
adding a
play
use
in a
case
national
study, a
publication.
client who
And that's
used
where
your
a lot
product,
of
what was
really
the outcome
important
that
and
they saw
powerful
from it,
things can
have a
happen
quote
with PR.
from them, and all of a sudden those are a lot
Our
more
editors
elements
are
for
not
them
salespeople,
to
they're
follow
editors.
someone's
Our
journey,
editors have rewritten over
using a new
6,000
product,
press
and
release
therefore
headlines, the
making
most
it more
important part
appealing
of the
for them
press
to share
release.
it with their
And if we
audience.
can make your press
Yes,
release
it's
more
kind of
clickable,
like,
then you're going to have more
sales
success
copy.
with the media.
You
The
need
goal
to
is
make
to help
something
the
that's
client
appealing
succeed
to
and not to necessarily
mind and
make a
brain.
sales quota.
People love a story rather than say, look how fantastic my new business is. You might say, single mum overcomes whatever, and then make a whole story about how this person's using it. And then the other thing it does is it makes it look more like an information source, so you tend to think it's more legit, which is very interesting. And what type of businesses benefit from press releases?
All types of businesses can benefit from it, but a lot of small businesses have an imposter syndrome when it comes to the media. They feel like they're too small to matter. But what you have to remember is that journalists do not get accolades from their audience and others every time they cover Google or Amazon. They generally get their most appreciation when they spotlight a new tool or a new service or a new company that no one knows. And often those are small businesses, mom and pops, individual entrepreneurs, or startups. And as a result, sometimes being small can be a real advantage when it comes to getting media attention.
Yes, that's what I tell my wife often, actually. And how do people get in touch with you, Mickie?
Our website is ereleases.com. We do have a free masterclass at ereleases.com/plan, PLAN. And it's a 1 hour video masterclass because no one's going to watch a 12-hour class anymore, I don't think, with our attention spans. And it'll go through all the strategic types of releases you should be focusing on. And if you build a PR campaign following that, you'll have a lot of successes with PR.
Excellent. Yeah, that's very interesting. And with these things, do you just release one article, or does it go for a couple of months, or how does it work, the packages?
Right. So each idea and press release goes out once, and a PR campaign is generally 6 to 8 different press releases, trying 6 to 8 different approaches. Cool. That's what I always tell people is, if you only have a budget for one press release, hold off until you can really dedicate yourself to testing several different types of releases, because you're always going to have some that fail. But, with the one press release that generated over 100 articles, you only need one really good press release for it to be quite cost effective.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And can you just give us a quick rundown of some of the different approaches that you can take to a client's press release?
Sure. So you had mentioned sort of the human interest element there. There's a reason that everybody that goes on Shark Tank shares their story. Sometimes it's inspirational. Sometimes it's an obstacle. It's often being vulnerable and real, and it gives you immediate empathy. Another one is incorporating data points into your press release. Everything from taking publicly available data to doing your own survey within your industry. Asking really relevant, timely questions today, and then partnering with a smaller independent trade association to send your survey out to their members, and then get the results and draft a release that focuses on a couple of those questions. Obviously, the ones that are the most surprising. Other things are like researching your industry for blind spots or gaps that the media don't normally cover. And these are often things that when you go to a conference, you'll buddy up to someone and say, have you noticed that this is going on? And they're like, yeah, I have, because no one's talking about it. And often you can take that and bring it to your industry's attention, and they'll recognize that they've been ignoring that blind spot, and they'll often write articles about that for you.
Very interesting there, Mickie. So if you're out there and you've got your business that you're starting up and you're doing all these other things, have you thought of doing press releases and whipping up some stories that can get picked up by the media? Because there can be so much, just a small amount of virality. You also get a lot of backlinks coming to your website, don't you, when you get featured? Because people write stories about you, link to your website, and you get all of that Google juice as well, just from an SEO perspective. But I can imagine so much benefit. So very interesting approach that is not something people think of. Thank you very much, Mickie Kennedy from eReleases. All right, Randolph, tell us a little bit about what you're up to with ShieldWolf and also your podcast.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a fractional CFO and franchise consultant. Essentially, a lot of companies understand the need of having somebody who specializes in forecasting the future. A lot of people have accountants, but accountants, their specialty is looking at the past. A fractional CFO or a CFO in general specializes in looking at the future and planning. Fractional CFO is the preface, because if you may know you need it, but you can't afford it. Usually a good CFO in the United States, you're looking at at least $150,000 to $250,000 just in base salary, and then plus essentials and incentives. Fractional CFO for a fraction of the price can give you a lot of the same benefits. And then when it comes to the franchise consulting, there are 3 types of business owners. You have the mountain climbers, you have the freedom fighters, and you have the craftsmen. Usually franchisors are the mountain climbers. Franchisees are typically the freedom fighters. And then, of course, you have the independent contractors. A lot of times are the craftsmen. I try to assist those people in that vertical to figure out where they fall in that place, get them set up. And then, of course, with my fractional CFO skills, have it to where they're able to retire, hopefully within the next 5 to 10 years at the most.
Yes, it's very interesting. The fractional, CFOs and fractional CMOs and all of this stuff, where you can get really experienced marketing professionals. And how often do you meet with business owners usually when they do a contract with you?
Approximately once a month, depending on the need. Typically, all it needs is about once a month. When I first engage with people, it's more frequently, bi-weekly. And then we eventually get to once a month. And then depending on their needs, sometimes it's quarterly.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And what are some of the things that the most common things you go through with these people in the first year?
Well, a lot of it has to do with what's their exit strategy. A lot of business owners, their plan is that they're going to build this great company and then their kids are going to take it over. But I talk to a lot of business owners probably in their 10th year, 20th year, 30th year. They never actually ask their children if they want the business. So the first one is, have you ever asked your children if they want your business? And it's usually like a 10-second silence, but it feels longer than that. And by the time I meet with them again, they finally asked their children. Their children respectfully told them, no, dad, no, mom, I don't want your business. And then now we start planning for the exit. All right. Now that we know your children don't want to run this business that they only see you curse about, let's figure out how we're going to exit. Are we going to set it up to where it's going to be acquired? Are we going to set it up to where somebody currently in your business is going to work them up to take it over? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? And what do we need to do with the current revenue flow in order to get it to where we need it?
Yes, it's very, very important. The exit strategy. And the thing is that people that are successful in business have a certain mindset, and often it's very hard to get into that mindset of what am I going to do to exit, because you're thinking exit, I don't even know if I'm going to make it with this thing. Like I'm just going for it, and but the thing is that having the exit strategy, having a professional like Roundoff who you speak to, it actually makes everything run a lot healthier, because you're thinking somebody needs to look at this and maybe buy this at some point. So you make sure you have better processes involved, and it just makes the business run better, I think. So that's very interesting. What are some of the businesses you work with, Randolph, typically?
Well, usually franchises.
Yeah,
Because a lot of times these franchisors are franchisees. It's beautiful. Anybody that's not familiar with how a franchise works, it's for somebody who's probably been in the executive corporate world, managers, and you always thought that you could only be a manager. However, typically around the age of 40, 45, 44, around that age, usually people have a nice nest egg saved up. They have a lot of experience working with people under them. Why not buy into a franchise? Most franchises, 85% approximately succeed in the first 5 years. Whereas if somebody were to start a business bootstrapping, and don't get me wrong, I've done it. It's a great feeling to create a business from the ground up, bootstrapping, using your own blood, sweat, and tears. But why not learn from somebody who's already bumped their heads, already has the systems in place, and it just puts you at a very strong position. And it also opens up funding to where if you were trying to start this business from the very beginning, no bank would touch you. But the fact that you align yourself with a franchise that's already been operating successfully. Oh, yeah. You got people from day one getting access to $400,000, $500,000 to where they can engage my co-guests here. And because they know their exit, because they have a business plan, they can spend the right money and they have the right story in order to increase the awareness and get more people knowing about what they do.
Fantastic. And what are some hot franchises at the moment, just off the top, that you've looked at recently, Randolph?
Believe it or not, because here's one of the things. One of the questions that you have to find out about yourself is, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this for money? Are you doing this for status? Right? So there's a franchise by the name of Resting Rainbow, right? They cremate dolls. They have a very compelling story. The founder of the company, his dog died, and when he reached out to people to help him with it, and they came and they put the dog in a trash bag, right? And that just destroyed him, right? Which, that's probably what happens. So he created a company where one of his many differentiators is they come pick up the dog and they put it in a casket. They treat the animal the same way that people treat humans. Yeah. But here's the thing: look at the margins. In order to cremate the dog is approximately $25 to $50, whereas the average sale price is $500. So if you bought into this franchise, not only are you tapping into a market, because the number of pets are only expected to increase, right? So not only are you tapping into a market that's going to continue growing, because what do all these animals, these pet owners have in common? Their animal is going to die, and they're going to want their animal to be treated with respect. So I think that's a great franchise. One of the many. A lot of franchises come out. A lot of them don't succeed, but this is one of the franchises that I think if people were to get into, not only are they doing positive impact, but they're going to make a lot of money. But that's where the status comes into play. Are you okay with telling people that you cremate pets?
That's a great idea, because that's something that you, in your heart, you're going to go, yeah, I want to look after Fluffy. That's amazing. And the other good thing about that is, to me, that seems like a hell of an easy business to run compared to, like, I was talking to this guy who sells these cookie franchise stores, and he was talking about how they got to get in there with the dough and they got to make all this dough, and I was like, oh my God, that sounds like a nightmare. I was like, just barbecue and a few dogs. Oh no, I shouldn't. It's terrible, but you know what I mean. It sounds a lot easier and profitable. Well, that's very interesting, and also great because I love dogs. I shouldn't be so silly.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So do you help people get into franchises as well, Randolph, or do you mostly deal with guys that are already running and gals?
Both sides. For people who are interested, like I said, usually around the age of 40. Yeah. Well, that's the average age of people that get into franchising. Also for people who have a business that's been around for at least 1 to 3 years and they bump their heads, they have a good business model. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. But here's the thing. Being that I'm a fractional CFO, I know that a lot of business owners, coincidentally, by the end of the year, they've made no money, right? So they might make great revenue, but it just a coincidence that their expenses eat up all of their revenue. They got $100,000 business truck that they drive. They just bought that they drive from their house to. So what we're able to do is, let's say that you're a business owner, and every year, for whatever reason, you make great gross revenue, but for whatever reason, by the end of the year, you don't make any money. We're going to have to put together what's called the franchise disclosure document. This is very important for potential franchisees that want to buy into your business, and it's going to have to list what your real profits are. So even if you've been doing this creative accounting, we can go back 3 years and make corrections if we need to make corrections in order for your numbers to be what they actually are, instead of what a lot of small business owners do. So I help franchisees find the right franchise. I advise them. For example, some franchisees only care about the money. If I'm working with somebody and they're unwilling to work in that business for at least a couple of days, that's a red flag. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say, I don't think you're ready. Or, you better sign this waiver document, because I advise you to not only go work into the business to see if you actually like doing the job. I also advise you to engage an attorney to read over this agreement, this operating agreement. Some people, they just know they don't even want to do none of that, right? Those aren't my customers. I want people who want to engage me and learn what can go wrong. We're going to think optimistically, but let's learn what can go wrong. Let's do everything we can to keep it from going wrong so we can be successful. So franchisees, franchisors, if you want to turn your business to a franchise, I got you. If you want to find the right franchise, I got you.
Yeah, very, very interesting. If you want to have a chat to Randolph, I've got his details in the show notes. Some very interesting points of view, especially if you want to build your own, turn your company into a franchise or purchase one. which are great businesses. And also, thank you very much, Mickie, for coming on and telling us about press release power. Some very interesting topics there for all the business-oriented people out there. Thanks very much for our wonderful guests, Mickie and Randolph. Mickie Kennedy and Randolph. I'm going to wrap things up. See you next time.